Hello everyone and welcome to my first YouTube video. Today I'm going to be applying a pre-mixed wash to this Flyhawk 1/72 scale Vallejo Ft-17. This Flyhawk kit was really nice to put together, pretty much perfect vehicle from a wash's point of view, with very crisp raised rivets and recessed panel lines. On this vehicle I initially planned to use different washes over the different colour areas on the vehicle. You can see here that I'm using dark brown for green vehicles from MIG Ammo. I put too much into one of the panel lines, causing the wash to flow upwards into the yellow part of the tank, and I was expecting the contrast to be too sharp for my liking. However, when I saw it, I thought it was quite a good colour for this base colour. I'm going to fast forward the video now because you'll get the gist of what I'm doing here. Just sort of placing the wash on top of the rivet details and in the intersections on the panel lines. This ammo wash for green vehicles works really well over 4BO, which is a much lighter green colour. As you can see here on this XF-58 Tamiya dark green, it's quite subtle. It's quite sharp now when I'm putting it on wet, but when it dries it'll be quite subtle and difficult to see. The wash barely shows up on the dark brown here, because as it's a dark brown wash and they're the same colour. On the back with the yellow is a little bit messier than I planned to be, but we can use that to our advantage later. Moving on to the turret now, this is sort of the complete opposite story from the hull. The hull was mainly dark green, with most of the details being covered with a dark green, meaning that the wash didn't show up particularly well. However, on the turret it's all the light yellow colour on the main parts of details, so the wash is going to come up very strongly. This means we have to be quite careful and not to over apply the wash here. Moving on to the tracks, these are again quite similar to the hull in the fact that they are entirely green, meaning the wash is very subtle, meaning we don't have to worry too much about our fine application here. We're going to start blending the wash in on the hull. I like to use a paintbrush for this, dampened with thinners. We can use the heavy application of the wash to our advantage. As you can see, I'm blending the wash downwards to give a subtle streaking effect using the excess wash. This is very subtle over the green parts of the vehicle, as to be expected, but on the yellow parts of the tank, it's a very nice effect. It's not too harsh, but it stands out very well. The camera is focused on my hand now, which isn't the best, but I'll try to avoid it in future. If you're wondering what I'm doing here, faffing around off camera, I'm looking for my flat brush. I often use this to change the direction of the streaking, to make them more vertical, and remove the excess so it's not too harsh on the yellow surface. The decals weren't the best in this kit, that's about the only complaint you could have about it. You can see they're quite shiny compared to the rest of the surface, but that will be sorted out later when a matte coat is applied. Moving on to the turret now, it's the same story as the hull really. We just have to be a little bit more careful because obviously it's a lighter colour. The intricate detail on the turret combined with the light colour allows us to create a really nice effect with the wash. The streaking also adds a lot to the overall look of the model. I'm doing the exact same thing that I did on the hull here, readjusting the direction of the streaking. The wash doesn't show up at all well on the dark green tracks, but that doesn't really matter because they can be very dirty anyway. Because of this, we don't really need to be too careful when blending the wash, we just need to make sure there's no hard edges. Here are some close-up pictures of the model. I'm really pleased with how the wash turned out. I think it looks really good, especially on the yellow. Quite glad I kept with the dark brown colour rather than switching to US modern vehicle wash or perhaps Africa Core wash. The next video on this vehicle I'll be covering using oils to make rust streaking, some more actual streaking rather than just using the wash blending. And I'll also be working on the exhaust and perhaps a bit on the tools. Thank you for watching, guys. I'm not sure when the next video will be, but it will come out eventually.